Hello, I'm Amundsson. This is a video about the animals that live at Skansen. Skansen is an open-air museum and zoo in Stockholm founded in 1891 by the Swedish ethnologist Arthur Hazelius, who wanted to preserve old Swedish culture in a time of change, industrialization and urbanization. Skansen was opened on October 11, 1891 and was originally part of the Nordic Museum, also created by Hazelius. Skansen became an independent organization in 1963. About 150 old buildings from different parts of Sweden have been brought to Skansen and rebuilt here to give you an idea of how it looked like in different parts of the country back in the old days. There are also several small workshops where you can watch craftsmen at work and buy their products for gifts or souvenirs. However, this is a video about the animals that live at Skansen, and I will start with some of those who are part of the natural fauna in Sweden or have been kept as cattle here. Elk or moose can be found in forest landscapes all over Sweden as well as the rest of Scandinavia. In Sweden they are sometimes called the king of the forest because of their impressive size. Elk often grow bigger in northern Sweden than in the southern parts of the country. They mate in September and October, and calves are born in May or June the following year. Because of hunting, the average length of life is just a few years, but calves older than 15 years have been found. Brown deer live in the northern and middle parts of Sweden. They can live up to 25 years in the wild and in some cases longer. They are omnivores and can eat anything from ants and berries to elk and reindeer. Females will mate in May or June every other year and give birth in January the following year as an interruption of their hibernation. They may get from 1 to 4 cubs. Females will mate with as many males as possible to reduce the risk of having their cubs killed by males. Harbor seal live on the Swedish west coast and in the southern parts of the Baltic Sea. Females can live up to 35 years, while males rarely live more than 25 years. Mating takes place in the water and can be quite brutal, as several males will compete for one female until there is only one of them left. The copulation will then take about 3 minutes. After about 11 months of pregnancy, the female will give birth to one single cub. The cub will then stay with its mother and suckle for about 5 weeks only before being left to take care of itself. The larger grey seal have their own pool at Skansen. They are common in the Baltic Sea and can live up to about 40 years of age. They eat mainly fish, but attacks on larger prey like harbor seal have been reported. The females are pregnant for 11 months and will then take care of their cubs for only 2 to 3 weeks.
Il est beau, on dirait presque qu'on lui a posé un truc sur la tête.
Bah, surtout, il y a du velours dessus.
C'est ça.
Très impressionnant. C'est pas très grand. Hein.
Non, je voyais ça très gros les oreilles. C'est petit en fait. Enfin.
Reindeer live in the northern parts of Sweden and Scandinavia. They can live up to about 20 years. Mating takes place in September and October, and the calves are born in the spring after more than 200 days of pregnancy.
Est-ce que tu as déjà rencontré Père Noël.
Tu l'as pris en photo avec le clocher?
Ouais.
No, dile que te echan 2 semanas, que enferma una.
Reindeer have for long been kept as cattle by Sappi, the indigenous people of northern Sweden. Sappi were nomads and used to live in small movable constructions like this, called cots. This cot can also be seen at Skansen. Wolverines are predators and scavengers that live in northern Sweden. This one prefers to stay out of sight. At Skansen you can also see animals that have traditionally been kept as cattle in Sweden, like cows, goats and sheep.
They're eating young and grown. Do you know this?
Vad är det som du tycker är roligt där? Vad är det som du tycker är roligt?
The Baltic Sea Science Center was opened in April 2019 and is a permanent exhibition at Skansen. Here visitors can watch fish that live in the Baltic Sea, like cod, flounder and salmon. The bottom of the Baltic Sea is not as colorful as a tropical coral reef, but interesting anyway. The fish in this tank can be found in both the brackish water of the Baltic Sea and in lakes, rivers and creeks in the inland parts of Sweden. Fish like bream, perch, pike and roach. I wonder if this pike does not try to eat some of its tank mates. That's what they would normally do. Vicent, or European bison, are the largest land-living mammals in Europe and distant relatives to the American bison. They lived in Scandinavia long ago when the climate was warmer, but vanished from Sweden about 1,000 years ago. They live from 14 to 25 years. Mating takes place in August to October, and the calves are born in May to July the following year. These bison share their enclosure with a family of wild boars. They usually get along well, but if it gets tense, there is no doubt who will have to step aside. Mother Pig here takes care of her piglets in a very pigly way. I wonder if it tastes good.
Cleaning the poop.
Peacocks originate from India and are often kept in gardens and parks around the world for their beauty and for added delight. Here at Skansen, they walk around freely in the park and they are not very afraid of people. These beautiful birds are everywhere, even in the enclosures of other animals.
Right here. Oh, Bunny.
The Skansen Aquarium and Monkey World is a small private enterprise owned by its founder, the famous zoologist Jonas Wahlström. Entrance to the Skansen Aquarium and Monkey World is not included in the entrance fee for Skansen, so you will have to pay an additional entrance to visit this place, but it's well worth the money. The lemurs are probably the most popular residents of the Skansen Aquarium and Monkey World. Lemurs come from Madagascar and wild lemurs can only be found there. They live 25 to 30 years. The females are actually dominant in their flocks.
Måste alla sitta på samma grej?
Visitors are allowed to step into their enclosure and walk around among them, but must of course not feed or pet them.
De kan hålla.
Nej, men vi ska inte dra.
Inte peta.
Nej, titta bara. Pappa, där är en klappa.
Mira allá arriba los chiquiticos. Marzo y en abril nacieron.
Suricats are small mammals that live in the southwestern parts of Africa. They form communities of up to 30 members, and their ability to cooperate within the group is critical to their survival and success. Suricats are carnivores. In the wild, their average lifespan is 15 to 20 years, but in captivity they usually live longer. A suricat female will give birth to 4 or 5 kids after a pregnancy of about 75 days. Suricats living in zoological gardens have sometimes escaped from their enclosure only to walk around, explore the environment, and then return home in the evening. This cute little monkey is a lion tamarin. They live in the rainforests of eastern Brazil, and the lion tamarins at the Skansen Aquarium and Monkey World are part of an international breeding program to save the species. Lion tamarins are omnivores and live up to 15 years, in some cases more. Pygmy marmosets are probably the cutest monkeys. They live in Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and the western parts of Brazil. They usually live for about 10 years, but at the Skansen Aquarium and Monkey World they often reach the age of 12 to 14 years. I'm not sure what kind of monkey this is. However, these monkeys are not fenced in. They live in an open area, but prefer to stay in their area and close to the ceiling. Hamadryad baboons are native to the Horn of Africa and the southwestern parts of the Arabian Peninsula. Baboons are omnivores, live in large family groups, and reach an age of about 35 years. Here, the baboons live in a large outdoor enclosure where an interesting environment has been created for them. And this is a red titi monkey from the jungles of South America. These are two Cuban crocodiles. One of them is named Fidel Castro, after the late dictator of their home country, a suitable name for a mean old crocodile. A few years ago, a visitor, an older man, lost one of his arms here when he stuck it in over the glass wall. His employer threw a party for the staff here at the Skansen Aquarium and Monkey World, and he was probably not quite sober. The glass wall fencing in the crocodiles have been raised since then to prevent such incidents from happening again. Electric eels are freshwater fish from South America. They breed air and are not even closely related to true eels, but more so to catfish. 3 different subspecies have been found, one in Guyana, another in the Amazon basin, and the third one in some areas south of the Amazonas, respectively. Electric eel can live to more than 20 years and will grow as long as they live. They can deliver shocks of up to 860 volts to stun their prey, so you do not want to step into the water when these dudes are around. This is a stingray. Stingrays live in the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Ocean. This is a boa constrictor, a snake native to the tropical South America. Visitors are allowed to pet it, something that I can easily do without. But the kids seem thrilled.
Du får med båda två. Nu, så ja, jättebra.
So if you're going to Stockholm on vacation, take time to spend a full day at Skansen. It is very nice and very relaxing, and something that I strongly recommend you to do. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos from Sweden and Stockholm. Thanks for watching.